So it's a tricky one. We did manage a few complaints when they first appeared, and how come we don't have a door and this person has a door? But it's not a feature at the moment, and they won't be in these places forever. But
what happens to them after that?
Well, we would have to. We're looking at options at the moment, so we're not going to get rid of them, but they will be there for viewing. It's not, but we just need to decide our strategy. So yeah. But no, amazing that it's an amazing story for advertising as well, that the central assets that are developed for a campaign are actually a compelling visitor experience. So it's all really positive.
And going back real quick to the tapestry, you called it a legacy asset?
Well, yes.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, it's there, it's enduring, it's not going to be put in a cupboard, and it's something, so as opposed to an advertising campaign asset that's developed purely for a campaign. And that's it, end of story.
And then
this has got life after that.
Yeah.
And we do envisage, again, we're looking at options of what's going to happen, but it's something that we feel, gosh, we need to take care of, and it's not something that's just now it's coming down at the end of August, and that's it. It'll never be seen by the public again. So it will have a life beyond.
Yeah, so I was wondering about, what happens when Game of Thrones is over, 10 years down the road, people have forgot about the show, or you moved on to the next HBO series. What is there talk about, the sustainability of this kind of tourism, or what's...
Yeah, no, there certainly is. We would feel very strongly that there is life after season 8. 10 years would be wonderful to maximise that opportunity. Who knows what's going to happen, who knows what's going to come along. But certainly we do feel very strongly that 5 years after the show, there should be still this big interest in coming. I think just looking at New Zealand, so The Hobbit and I've forgotten the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. That's still...
Their tourism is still going.
And their tourism is still going. It's still a pull. That awareness is there. The locations, like in New Zealand, the locations here are not going to go away, and we're so fortunate. They are stunning locations. That's not going to go away. It's part of our DNA now, that Game of Thrones, the biggest TV show in the world, has been filmed here. I think for 10 years' time, when people look back, there may be another biggest TV show, who knows, but that is still going to be out there. The fact that it's on so many different ways of viewing it. The books are there. I think the fact that there are books always add that longevity. Like Harry Potter, like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. This is books too. There's talk of a prequel. Again, that's going to keep people's interest. And there may well be a legacy project as well. That could well be happening. So that's and that would certainly sustain it.
Do you think that Game of Thrones tourism has the potential to... What am I trying to say? People might come for Game of Thrones, but then see the rest of Northern Ireland and be like, wow, there's so much more here. Or do you think it's the other way around? People come for Northern Ireland and then Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it works both ways. I think
both ways.
The screen tourism, so those who are coming because of Game of Thrones, that is the hook, there's no doubt. And certainly for Tourism Ireland, who are in the international markets, they're saying Northern Ireland, that's where Game of Thrones is filmed. They've immediately got, that's a big message. And people are coming for that. And then when they come, absolutely they're saying, gosh, brilliant Game of Thrones, but look, I didn't realise Northern Ireland was so beautiful, or the hospital, what a welcome we've had. And we have done some research 2 years ago, but people are saying, I came for Game of Thrones, I've seen a different experience than I anticipated. I've really enjoyed it, and then many saying I would come back, and I would certainly tell friends. So the hook is driving them, and then it's very much that there's more that they didn't realise. But it's great that has changed the narrative for Northern Ireland. It's very much brought us into that 21st century. It's screen tourism now is such a growing phenomena, and we're there with the biggest TV show in the world, which is brilliant. But also those people who are coming because they're coming to Northern Ireland, and then there's understanding, gosh, Game of Thrones filmed here. That's sort of adding, they're quite excited about that then, and many of them, some of them obviously it's not a concern to them, but, and another interesting thing is that because so many of our visitors are visiting friends and relatives, so, they've been coming back and forth to visit family or come for weddings or whatever. Suddenly it's quite sexy to say, I'm going home and I'm so excited to see where Game of Thrones is filmed. And they're telling their friends in England or wherever that they're going home, and that's and their friends, yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to have to come with you sometime and see that. So it's changing the narrative and people's perception, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. I can imagine 10 years ago, what would have the tourism narrative have been before Titanic, before Game of Thrones? What was there?
We've had our troubled past. You're obviously very aware of that. And through those difficult times, a lot of our visitors were coming for those sort of niche products. So whether it was the keen angler, fisherman, or, there are very good fishing waters here, so, or coming for golf, or coming for, something that's driving them because of their interest in something. But then that was sort of maybe through very difficult times, people were coming because of the passion of their interest. But people are curious about the whole story of Northern Ireland, and people also they know it's a beautiful country and easy to get around. So very sort of generic reasons for coming, and then the visiting friends and relatives would have been a big factor as well. But Titanic is now a big thing. Giant's Causeway has always been that pull as well, and I was there recently. I couldn't believe the amount of people there.
Yeah.
I used to go up and had it to myself. It was lovely. But it's interesting that it's Giant's Causeway really drives people, and Titanic is a very big story, and golfing is a very big story too. And
is there any concern about over touristification?
Yeah,
because I've heard from people, like, it seems like the biggest critique right now is traffic in the city. But how are you managing that? And how do you think
it is? We are starting to become a victim of our success. So last 2017 was a record year of visitor numbers. So we've been going up, but last year was certainly the highest. So we are encountering numbers that we'd never encountered before. And I think last year, it was very much last summer 2017, we were starting to realise that things are getting sort of to a stage where we need to start managing it. So I can't say that. I think the problems we're becoming aware of them, and as a tourist board, sustainability is key and growing the number, but I think our focus is very much more on the value of each tourist as opposed to the numbers. So it's really, our focus is really working with the industry and developing more reasons for people to stay longer and to spend more. And so it's coming up with new visitor experiences or more engaging visitor experiences. So that who's coming will come, spend longer, spend more, and not so much just the vast number of come, So our thinking is changing, rightly so. But we must work with the councils, and we've got 11 councils in Northern Ireland who are responsible for sort of the on the ground visitor management issues, really, and the individual attractions.
Okay, so that's sort of the domain of the city council.
So to
deal with coach parking
and
things like that.
Yeah, that would be their sort of at the Giant's Causeway. The numbers of coming, so their car parking facilities wouldn't have been there to manage the number of coaches now coming, and it is in a very rural area and a very scenic area, so again they need to put in measures and are starting to put in measures. Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge, you could have just turned up and gone, but now people are turning up and they have to wait, so they've introduced a ticketing situation, and so all these things people are starting to realise what the issues are and respond.